All right. Hey, folks, this is Lulu. I'm at my dad's in my son's room, and Lulu's in here with me. It's been raining and storming outside, and Lulu gets a little skittish when she hears thunder. So she's in here with me. She's a good one. Yeah, she's my dad's best buddy. And right now, she's my best buddy. So anyway, come on, Lulu. It's all right. There you go. So, I was not going to do another finds video this month. And I was thinking about doing some other things. Maybe like some digital kind of stuff, like some my favorite CDs and some favorite digital files and DVD audio, 5.1 surround. But that was before this past week. And all of a sudden, all of my usual haunts, the Salvation Army, my pawn shop, my Cheap Thrills Records where my son works, all of a sudden a whole bunch of stuff just came in. And so I've got some stuff here on the cheap as usual. So I'll get to that. First of all, I want to do a little quick shout out to a VC friend of mine, Michael P. Dawson. He had recently shown some videos of how he had been looking for and eventually found a nice copy of Revolver by the Beatles. And he had been looking for a particular copy, a 1969 or 70 vintage copy that he had years ago. Well, this is my original copy that I bought probably almost 50 years ago. And in his video, he had mentioned that he was looking for one with the green Capitol logo. Well, I had not played this record in over 30 years. As soon as the CD came out of this, that's all I listened to was the CD with the British version of it. And this was just stacked away. Well, shortly after watching his video, I thought, well, I want to break out my copies. I've got multiple copies of this. This is my original 1966 mono on Capitol that I recently got for $5 in a $5 bin somewhere, which is freaking awesome. And of course, this is I highly recommend this if you don't have it. This is the recent mono repress of this. Spectacular. This is the way to go. But anyhow, so after 37 years, I broke out my copy of Revolver, and sure enough, it's on that 1969 vintage green and purple Capitol Target label. So I just wanted Michael to look at that, and man, I know exactly where you're coming from. But all right, so now to the finds. Man, I got some 45s. I'll go through these quickly, maybe with a little short story or two. These were recently. This is a combination of stuff that I found at Salvation Army. All these were a quarter piece to Salvation Army. A few of these came from the pawn shop that I was telling you about, and they weren't much. They were pretty cheap too. They were less than $1 a piece there. But this is the treasure out of here. Mighty Mouse Saves Dinky. I mean, isn't this the most awesome thing? I'm sure it's from the 1950s, and it's on the RCA Victor label. I mean, it is mint. How cool is that? This is a treasure. All right, next, some 45s by the Rolling Stones. Here is Dandelion, backed with We Love You. And all of you Beatles fans know that this B-side, We Love You, actually has, I believe, Paul McCartney and John Lennon singing backup on this. And maybe even, I don't know, I think they may even played some instruments too. But, hey, this was a find. Along with, this has got a little writing on it, Ruby Tuesday, backed with Let's Spend the Night Together. Man, love it. Man, I'm real stoked to find these too. It's got some writing on it. This is original 45 of Good Vibrations by the Beach Boys, backed with Let's Go Away for a While. And here's another one, Breakaway. It's nice. I like that. It's got the capital sleeve with it. Backed by Celebrate the News. Oh, the Beatles people. This is I got some really cool Beatles stuff here. 8 Days a Week. Original capital swirl. I Don't Want to Spoil the Party. Look here. Yesterday. Backed with Act Naturally. Man, some cool stuff. Get Back. Apple. With Don't Let Me Down. This is The Long and Winding Road. For You, Blue. And remember, these are cheap. These were pennies, literally. 25 cents, maybe a little more at the pawn shop. And here's a nice one. It even included the Apple sleeve. This is Paul McCartney and Wings, Band on the Run. Backed with 1984. I think it's 84. Yeah, 1985. I'm sorry. Duh, I should know that. About to lose my Beatle credentials. All right. Green Onions, Original Stacks 45. Behave Yourself. And, oh, this is a nice kind of a psych thing here. Tomorrow by the Strawberry Alarm Clock. Backed with Birds in My Tree. And this was the one that tickled me the most. Mainstream. Journey to the Center of the Mind. Oh, this is almost like a 45 grail for me. Backed with Mississippi Murderer. I know a lot of people not into Ted Nugent these days, but you know, it's back in these days, man. He was just super cool for me, and this is a classic. All right, now these couple of kind of grails for me. All right. So these came in my son's store recently. I didn't buy these at the same time, but I bought this one not long ago. And I paid a little bit more for these. These weren't in the 25 cent or the freebies or the really cheap stuff. I paid up a little bit for these, but I didn't pay like the eBay and Discogs prices. I got these at a fairly decent deal. But these are on the, this is the 62, 66 on red vinyl capital. Beautiful. Beautiful. And I got this one not long ago, and I was waiting and searching to find a mate for it. If you notice on the back, it's got the oval capital logo on there. And the Beatles people and record people, you know that there are many varieties of this. U.S., Canadian, European, German, British, and a lot of them, some of them have the Apple logo, some of them have the Target capital, maybe other variations. But this one came in the other day, and luckily it had the oval capitals. I was really, really stoked to find this one. Beautiful, beautiful blue vinyl. Perfect in every way. I'm happy. These are some of the last Beatles records that I've wanted to get to actively find. So I'm so happy now. The vinyl community, where else are you going to see grown men gushing like babies at Christmas over vinyl records? My wife calls these my little treasures. All right, quickly let me go over these albums. And these are all cheap. Actually, some of these were actually given to me. They were in bins for donation or whatever. So most of these are 25 cents a piece. Some of them are 50 cents. But anyway, I'll go over this quickly. Stan Kenton, Hair. Like this cover on there. Really love it. If you're not familiar with this album, I was unfamiliar, but it just looked interesting. Stan Kenton, this is sort of a mixture of big band jazz with some kind of maybe a little touch of exotica and some late 60s era pop vocals. Cool stuff. And this is another one of those that's on that Capitol Green Target label. Friends by Elton John. Have any of you seen this movie? I want to know. If you've seen this movie, comment. Let me know what you thought of this movie. This is one of those deals. 1970, this movie came out. I was in high school. I was still a teenager, and the only reason I want to see this movie is because I had just discovered Elton John. He'd come out with, Your Song, Leave On, that whole era, those first few albums he had. So when I saw this movie had a Elton John soundtrack, I wanted to go see it. So I went to see it, but what really got me about this, not so much the music, but the story. And I'm not going to spoil it in case any of you want to see it, but this movie devastated me, It was, I think at the time it was an R-rated movie too, and I don't even know now because it had the subjects in there were teenagers, and there's actually, nudity and sexual content between these teenage kids. But having put that aside, the story is what got me on this. This is such a devastatingly sad story. So I've been wanting a copy of this LP for the longest time. I've been looking for used copies of it. Most used copies I've found in a dollar bin somewhere, or you could find it in a thrift store, and they're always beat to hell. This is actually a pretty decent copy. I'm really stoked to find that one. All right, trying to not waste too much time. Spyro Gyra. Let's see, what was this one? Morning Dance. This is the first Spyro Gyra LP that I've bought, and for $1, thought I'd try it out. Love that artwork. Man, isn't that cool? So this is kind of pop jazz, maybe times maybe a little fusiony, but it's just kind of happy jazz, I guess. Maybe a little bit of 70s, a slight touch of 70s funk, maybe. So nice thing. Oh, this was a nice one here, Mamas and Papas. I love this cover. Isn't that crazy? I just love that. This one's worth $1 just for the cover. Music's not too bad. Dream a Little Dream of Me. What's some of the other ones on there? Oh, Safe in My Garden. Oh, I love that song. That's probably my favorite song by Mamas and Papas. Safe in My Garden. But John Phillips, I'm sure that a lot of you are aware of some of his scandalous history. I'm not a big fan of this man, but separate the art from the person. The guy did make some interesting music, wrote some great songs, regardless of his, personal life. Anyway, that's it. It's a couple of greatest hits. Here's both of these still in the shrink wrap. Chicago's greatest hits and America's greatest hits. I'm giving this one to my son. My son has recently discovered America, so to speak. And this has got all the songs that he likes. So I'm giving this to him. Here's another Chicago 17. They had some more Chicago down there that I thought I already had, but obviously looking through my collection, I realized that, hey, I don't have those records. So I'm going to head back down Salvation Army tomorrow and see if those records are still there and pick them up. Dr. Hook, Sometimes You Win, ... So, my first Dr. Hook record. These were cool too. These were a couple of double LP. Chuck, I think it's Chuck Mangione. I'm sorry. But I thought this one was cool. It's got Dizzy Gillespie, Chick Corea, Steve Gadd as guest artists on there, playing in the band. This has got to be cool. And it's a double LP set for $25. Still in the shrink wrap. Excellent condition. Here's another one, live at the Hollywood Bowl. Chuck Mangione, another double LP. It's got like a nice little booklet sort of thing with it, and it also came with this little insert there, which is just full of photographs and stories of I guess things about Chuck Mangione. So I don't know if that was originally included with this LP, but it was in there. Hey, for $25. So I've got some good Chuck Mangione live stuff. This was a nice one. Nancy Wilson, Gentle As My Love. This is an original Capitol. And look at this condition. I mean, it's like excellent shape. Got the original inner sleeve on the Rainbow Capitol label. In just excellent condition. I'm not really a huge Nancy Wilson fan, but I've got several of her other LPs, and I figured, hell, for $25, that's a nice addition. Some classical. This is on the Allegro label. This is Wagner Overtures, Tannhäuser, Lohengrin, whatever. I can't pronounce all the titles. It's excellent shape. They had some other classical records at the same spot, but they were pretty much trashed. And if you want to listen to classical on LP, man, you don't want scratches or dirt. You know, you want to find pristine copies, and this one's excellent. It's probably one of those deals somebody opened it up and played once and said, I don't like that. I've been fed. This one looked interesting. Hollywood Bowl program. This is the Hollywood Bowl. So apparently this was a commemorative thing for some concerts that they had at the Hollywood Bowl. It was, you know, nice little custom record sleeve, the booklet, and this was it's a 2 LP set, or is it? Yeah, it's a 2 LP set on that old Capitol labels. It's excellent shape. I haven't listened to it or cleaned it yet, but for $25, I'll try it out. Oh, these are some couple of nice ones. I don't think I'd shown these. A couple of Lenny D albums. Lenny D Goes to Town. Mr. D Goes to Town. And then this one. Lenny D, Gentle on My Mind. And it's another one of those that I just absolutely love the cover. And this is the first one I bought, and I remember going to the checkout, and I said, this cover just reminds me of somewhere I'd want to be right now. So, those are two cool ones. Goldfinger, the big sound of Billy Strange, his guitar and orchestra. This is pretty cool stuff. It's got the theme from the Munsters on it. Peter Gunn. You know, gosh, I Feel Fine. It's got a Beatles cover on there. Theme for Pussy Galore. And it's another nice one. Mexicali Brass, South of the Border. This is on the Crown label. Excellent shape. And it's got some excellent guitar on there too, along with the horn. So I'm thinking Jerry Cole maybe. He was associated a lot with this. And the guitar on here is way cool. Stormy. Dennis Jostin, the Classics 4. Chubby Checker. It's Pony Time. This one is in kind of a rough shape, but I want to give it a good cleaning, and maybe it'll play like on the old Crosley or something. You know, sometimes these old mono presses like this from the 50s and 60s, even though they look rough, you give them a good cleaning, and a lot of times they still sound excellent. Oh, another one from my wife. Another Kenny Rogers that I found cheap. This one is Share Your Love. So this one was produced by Lionel Richie. Let's see, what was the hit song off of here? Basil Roy. I don't know. Through the Years. Yeah, Through the Years, I think, was his big hit off of this one. So anyway, and finally, they had a few of these in the stack. It's Maxell. These are samplers. They had several of them. This was the best of them. This is the rock sampler. But man, I cleaned this sucker and played it, and it sounds spectacular. I mean, it's side A is almost like, well, let's see. It's got Triumph during a Blinding Light Show, Moonchild by Triumph. It's got the Straubs, Deadly Nightshade. It's got some funk on here. And some jazz. A group called the Odyssey. Artist called Omar Sharif. Or Sharif, I think. It's got Rufus with Chaka Khan. It's got Daryl Hall and John Oates. Harvey Wilson doing Show Enough Groove. And then ending with Genesis, Chapter 1, Verse 32 by the Alan Parsons Project. This is a spectacular sounding album. I wish that the other ones, they had some classical and some other samplers that they were pretty much trash, but this one was in excellent shape. Other than, I don't know if you can see that, but somebody had used the cover of this to do their math homework on. So it's kind of like these columns of math. But anyway, so I hope that wasn't too long. Thanks for watching. Man, I enjoy you folks. I enjoy everybody's videos. I enjoy the comments. Thanks a lot for hanging around. Peace.